Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm Bobby,
I'm Casey.
and we're going to talk about the Acolyte episode 5, right?
Heck yeah.
We haven't talked about it yet, so let's jump right in.
What an episode.
I loved it.
This was amazing.
Yeah.
I would say, I know that the show creator, she had said that this episode was her favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Several people involved were talking about the fight choreography
Yeah.
in this episode.
I love the way he fought. He fought unlike anyone we've seen.
This fight choreography was insane. Some of the best live action Star Wars fights we've ever gotten.
Yeah. Yeah, just he had like a frantic, almost, I don't want to say nonsensical, but random way of fighting.
Oh,
And even, I'm blanking on his name now, of course.
Tremere?
No, the
Soul?
No, the other guy. The guy.
Yord?
Yord. He commented on it. He's like, there's no way to predict what he's doing.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
not following
yeah.
any techniques.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. And then, obviously, the gauntlet and the helmet.
The way he used the helmet.
Yeah. Just headbutting a lightsaber and turning it off. Super cool.
Yeah, and I saw some people online getting mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually, I was just looking up the actual name of it.
Cortosis.
Cortosis.
Yeah.
The actual metal it exists in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
So
It existed in the old EU, and it was recanonized, I think, in the second Thrawn novel. I know it was in the second Thrawn novel.
yeah.
So yeah, it's funny, it's amusing, interesting to me when Star Wars fans get really mad about something. They're like, they're breaking the rules, they're doing something totally out of left field. I don't like it. It's so stupid. The old Star Wars never would have done this. When they did do it, that's my
The only
thing.
new thing I think that this episode introduced, as far as Cortosis, is basically like the Magneto-esque.
that it
shield
blocks
that
his
it-
mind reading.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was interesting. I liked that.
yeah. I don't mind that at all. I think that's cool. That it gives them a new way to fight the Jedi mind tricks.
Yes. No, I thought that was a moment when he said that. I immediately thought of Magneto, obviously, and I was just like, "Oh, that's sweet. That's why he's wearing the helmet." In addition to the other functions of it.
Yeah, but this entire episode, from the moment Osha wakes up
Mm-hmm.
on the ground to the moment
She is passed out on the ground at the
she's
end.
passed out on the ground at the end. Yeah, with the song playing.
What song?
That was Kylo's theme.
That's what I didn't hear that. I only watched the episode once, and I heard that after the fact. Pretty cool. So it could be a Night of Ren, maybe the first Night of Ren.
Heck yeah.
They might be in other media. I don't know. Need to get up to speed on some of this stuff.
Whatever he is,
Yeah.
he's awesome. Obviously, there has to be something that happens.
Yes.
Because obviously he did say that he did confirm in this episode that he is what the Jedi would call a Sith.
That I have something to say about that, but I want you to finish your thought.
But that he didn't say he's a Sith?
No, he did.
Well, he said you'd call me a Sith.
I mean, someone else pointed this out online, and I agreed with it, and I thought it initially was, you can call yourself a Sith if you're not. A person with a red lightsaber who uses the dark side might, knowing history, call themselves a Sith, not really understanding what it is. Or they might just like pick up that moniker. They might not be related to the actual lineage of the Sith that led to Palpatine.
Absolutely. My point being, something has to happen though, in order for the Jedi to still think that the Sith don't exist.
Yeah.
by the time episode 1 rolls around.
Yes.
So
there could be no survivors.
Soul, it's been nice knowing you.
I thought he was going to die in this episode. Everyone else died. I was really sad when X-23 died.
Jackie?
Yeah, Jackie. She was super cool.
She was badass, dude.
She was
her
awesome.
Smirk when Kelneka's lightsaber reignited, and then she had like 2 lightsabers. Oh man,
yeah,
that was awesome. And just the way she was dual wielding.
Yeah. And I liked her character throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
She's a Padawan, so she's young. She's kind of sassy. But she's confident, and you could tell. I think she's wise beyond her years.
100%.
And obviously, if she went toe to toe with that guy, dual wielding lightsabers, she's probably skilled beyond her years too.
She seemed very skilled. I thought it was a cool way to do the reveal of the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Using her dead body.
Yeah.
Like, just boom, boom, boom.
And then as she falls, he like...
And it was... What a cool second hidden lightsaber.
Yeah, he just like took it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is badass.
Oops, there goes that.
But,
super cool.
And then... Poor Yord.
Yeah.
What a brutal ending. That's one of the most brutal deaths I think we've ever gotten in Star Wars.
He recognized him. They recognized each other.
Yeah.
Soul didn't seem to recognize him. He said he sensed him. He sensed familiar. He felt familiar, but he didn't recognize him, but Yord did.
And, I mean, it definitely seems like Chimere knows, obviously, who Soul is.
Mm-hmm.
Because he made some comment, like, about, like, don't you know, or something along those lines, like, don't you recognize me? He said something like that when Soul was talking about...
Like, Soul, like, said he was, like, full of lies or something. And he says, what about you? Something like that.
Well,
I need to write some of this stuff down.
one of the best quotes, way to call the Jedi out.
Mm-hmm.
After he kills Jackie, he like Soul yells at him, "She was just a child."
Oh yeah.
And he responds, "You brought her here."
Yes.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like, call the Jedi out for this stuff, because either you trust these people to come on these dangerous missions and they're ready for it, or are they just children? Right. You can't have it both ways.
It's true.
So Soul's the one that brought her on this dangerous mission, and
yeah, they didn't know they were going to encounter a Sith Lord there, but it wasn't a 0 chance probability.
It wasn't a 0 chance probability, because they knew that May was working for some dark person. Yeah. Some bad person.
Yeah.
And so they knew that there was a good chance of running into a bad person. Someone using the Force who is a badass, because they're the one, clearly have been training May pretty well.
Who killed 3 Jedi Masters at that?
Yeah.
Had she killed 3 at that point?
She killed 2 at that point.
And then the Wookiee was dead when she got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was dangerous to bring a Padawan there. It might go into some Jedi arrogance in that, how many Jedi were there?
I think there was 8.
Soul, the Keldor, the guy that... Yord, I keep forgetting his name. Jackie, and then the guy with the beard, and then someone else.
I'm pretty sure there was 8. Like, you could see, like...
Boom, there was 8.
When he, like... When Chimere force pushed...
Yeah.
They all created a dust trail. And I think there was, like, 8 trails.
That was dope. Also. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, going back to the way he was fighting... One of my favorite deaths was when he stabbed the one Jedi and then forced the other guy onto the lightsaber.
Yeah, that was one moment. I don't often audibly react to a TV show, but that one I was like, oh!
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
And There is one thing about the ending
Mm-hmm.
of this episode.
That weird thing he says.
No,
We can talk about that. But...
May obviously May swapped places with Osha,
Yeah.
and May has now infiltrated, so to speak. I guess she's going with Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Does Soul not realize?
Right. He trained
And like
OSHA for years, I'm assuming.
Exactly.
Could sense the difference.
My only way to rationalize it in my head is obviously in the prequels, Palpatine
Yeah.
was like covering. I mean, Palpatine was literally like
Standing in a room with the Jedi Council.
with Mace and
Yeah.
Yoda and
Siasi Tin.
Kiadi Mundi,
Yeah.
and everyone's favorite,
Yeah.
and they didn't sense him.
Yeah.
So, I guess
You could just chalk it up to...
the Dark Force users are much better at like clouding the Force.
Yeah, and there's just the fact that this is fiction, and if they made hard and fast rules that had to be obeyed all the time, a lot of stories just couldn't happen, or the rules would just be violated constantly. So sometimes a Jedi can sense a person's presence from a mile away. Sometimes they can't tell if their son or daughter is standing right in front of them. And I'm fine with that. Like you said, the dark side clouds things. Maybe he wasn't... Maybe a Jedi has to actively, like, read someone in order to tell that sort of thing, and he didn't want to do that. I don't know.
That's fair.
But...
That's fair.
Yeah, there's that. I heard some criticism of the Sith, or the dark side user, running away from fights pretty frequently. And I didn't really care about that, because he was going after May, because his objective was to kill her, because she knew too much. He ultimately would have to kill all the Jedi too, but May had the most intel on him of everyone. So every Jedi was a distraction for his main objective, which was to kill her.
Yeah.
I will say that May should have thrown a knife in his back when he was fighting those two Jedi
100%.
a few times.
Yeah, come on.
Because it's not like... when she didn't do that, I was like, well, maybe she thinks he might forgive her or something. But then immediately afterwards, he like really tries to get her and deflects it. I'm like, okay, that's not...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he force heals Osha.
That was interesting. Sith... It's not really a dark side power. Not to say that they couldn't do it. Palpatine kept Anakin alive on Mustafar all the way to Coruscant, so they have techniques.
Yeah,
I'm interested if they touch on that again, or if that's just the thing that he can do, because I'm really fine with it either way. But when he did it, I was like, because you kind of have to use good feelings and stuff to.
So let me ask you, do you think that Trymere is the master, or do you think he's an apprentice? Because I've seen some rumors, people speculating online that he's actually an apprentice, like a Sith apprentice who was trying to find his own apprentice in order to help topple his master.
Yeah, because that's typically what happens. He's pretty young. So unless his master died in an accident, or if he just outclassed him, it'd be hard to have risen to master by this time.
I mean, if he was dedicating himself to learning the dark side of the Force as much as he was dedicating himself to getting those gains, did you see those arms?
He was pretty shredded.
He was jacked.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't remember Manny Jacinto being that shredded on The Good Place, but
Yeah, but Anne noticed it was him.
Yeah.
During that episode. Yeah. Um, he was pretty shredded in that. He was good.
I mean, he was in great shape, but man, the arms in this episode, like when it showed like just his arm, like
Yeah,
dude.
I feel like because the way his costume is, they're like, all right, you're gonna go to the gym. You really only have to focus on your arms.
Yeah.
There's like 3 workouts you're gonna do when you're there. So about him being the apprentice or the master. I heard some people say that he might not even be a Sith, and using the fact that he was using the term acolyte instead of apprentice when he was searching for an apprentice was part of that. But maybe, like you said, he's the apprentice looking for someone who he can have defeat his master with him, which is pretty typical of the Sith. But also, the Sith, they have the rule of 2, but they can bend those rules by having assassins or...
The rule of 2.
Yeah, the rule of 2. This guy's not a Sith. He's just an acolyte. She's just an acolyte. I think...
Just an acolyte. They're just inquisitors, man. They're just inquisitors.
Right, exactly.
Don't think about it too hard.
There's a castle devoted to them, and there's a bunch of them. This isn't canon anymore, but in the Darth Plagueis book, Plagueis was the master, Palpatine was the apprentice, and Maul was just a Sith assassin. In Phantom Menace. In that book, which again isn't canon anymore, but we can take it with a grain of salt, Palpatine kills Plagueis at the end of Phantom Menace, after he's elected Chancellor. So, that's just an example that there can be more than one dark side. Like, even... sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. The Master could have sent his apprentice to get an acolyte so that they can accomplish some more goals. It might not even be him alone seeking to overthrow his master.
If that's the case, who is his master?
I don't know. It's 200 years before any of this. Or 100.
It's 100 years.
100. Yeah. I don't know.
How old is Plagueis?
Well, if Mun's lived to be 100, he's probably about a baby about now. Baby Plagueis, Sith Lord.
Do they?
Dark Lord of the Sith.
Like,
But you said that, didn't you? Let's Google it. We can edit this out. It'd be cool if it was Plagueis. If he just had, like, 12 apprenti. Wow, 91 to 650. Oh, that's a hut. Shut up.
I was say, ooh, jeez.
More than 100 standard years.
More than 100 standard years.
So he could be, like, 25. So young, brash. Well, then, I don't buy him being, like, a 25-year-old Mun with a 22-year-old apprentice.
I'm just saying.
And if Grogu... How old was Grogu? Grogu was like 50?
Yeah, Grogu's 50 and...
But he's still a baby. So a long-living species they wouldn't mature as fast as a short-lived species, I guess. It's not a given, but potentially.
Let's see. I'm just saying, Wikipedia, there's no date of birth.
Right.
Is
there
Darth
even
Plagueis.
a canon entry for him?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there would be because he's mentioned in...
32 BBY is when he dies.
So he has a canon death?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people who were upset about Ki-Adi-Mundi when he showed up, that's how it worked with him. Like, people were like, oh no, his species doesn't live that long. And it's like, he only had a canon death at this point.
Yeah.
Because the legend stuff was eliminated.
Yeah.
So...
We touched on this last time, but as much as I would like... I'm not even going to go there. Just because it was canon in the EU doesn't make it canon today.
100%.
And also, Star Wars has broken canon a lot. Because I'm pretty sure Princess Leia knew what her mom looked like. Do you remember being born? Because I don't.
Yeah.
Neither did Luke.
Yeah.
And
there's tons of discrepancies between the original trilogy and the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
George almost didn't have Obi-Wan pick up Anakin's lightsaber. He remembered at the last minute, according to myth.
Yeah, and then go to the Dagobah system, and you'll find
the Jedi Master who trained me.
Exactly, like Oh yeah, Yoda trained all of them.
Yeah.
Like he trained all the Jedi kids.
It's like, so technically what he said is true,
Okay.
but
Okay.
when you say the person who trained me, you don't mean your first grade teacher. You mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you would have looked, if Luke would have looked 50 yards to his right, he'd have seen Force Ghost Qui-Gon being like, "What the
Bro,
dude?
come on.
Bro,
Yeah.
bro, what am I, chopped liver?"
Yeah. After Maul got through with him. Rest in peace, Qui-Gon.
Whoa.
No,
No, he was a shish kebab.
it's true.
When
More
Maul
like
got-
a shish kebab.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Big Qui-Gon fans.
Yeah, Qui-Gon's cool.
Yeah.
Bigger Maul fan here.
So you enjoyed Maul killing Qui-Gon.
It was a great scene.
I don't know if it was a... Well, I guess it wasn't a bad scene.
Duel of the Fates is amazing.
It is great. I will usually watch Star Wars movies in their entirety, but sometimes I'm just like, let's watch Duel of Fates. Let's watch Luke versus Vader.
Yeah.
I actually have 4K like playlists on YouTube where I could just watch them without even putting the DVDs in,
Oh, nice.
the Blu-rays in.
Nice.
Anywho.
I'm excited for where this show's going. This episode was fantastic.
Yes.
I can't wait to revisit the events of May and Osha's childhood,
Yeah.
because we're definitely going to. The showrunner, she said that she was inspired by Rashomon, which I mentioned last episode. So I'm just very excited for that.
I'm excited to see
And
how Osha reacts to being with the Sith and how May reacts to being with Sol, or how Sol reacts to being with May, I guess.
I'm wondering if they do a flippity flop.
Yeah.
May, after, because May was already wanting to abandon her master.
Yeah.
May was wanting to be like, nah, I want to be with my sister.
Yep.
And then, which I thought she said she was going to turn herself in.
Yeah.
She didn't seem to
Yeah.
to want to turn herself in very much when Jackie got there.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, that was bugged me.
I digress.
Yeah.
But maybe now that May's with Soul, maybe she sees a different side of things. But also, Osha's with Chimere, so maybe he enlightens her
Yeah.
and
'Cause
lets her know.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Because that one Jedi killed himself, and Sol looked pretty perturbed.
Dude, Soul, let's talk about the hand-to-hand fight.
Yeah.
Soul was going Jean-Claude on that guy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Soul is badass.
I love Sol. I hope he survives. If he doesn't survive, I don't see it happening, honestly. I hope we get comics and books about him as a Jedi. Because I want to see more of this character.
I would like to see a younger version of him, like
Yeah.
when he's coming up in the Jedi Order and stuff. I'd love more stories about him for sure.
Yeah. Awesome character. Yeah, the hand-to-hand fighting. The whole episode was a fight.
Yeah.
And it was a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, my prediction, I can't wait to see Osha become the Acolyte.
Right. Anne thought, what if they both turned to the dark side and they teamed up as bad guys? And I was like, I don't see that happening. However, I mean, I don't see Disney doing that for this show. But I could see the characters doing that, and I could see that being a really cool thing, honestly.
A dyad in the Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why their moms created twins. And if not that, then that could explain, because if Sol dies, if they survive, the only way that people don't find out there's a Sith Lord is if they embrace that, I guess. Or if they don't go to the Jedi, I suppose. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. I think more people are going to die.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. There's going to be more death.
Mm-hmm. Safe bet, I'd say.
Yeah. But,
You think Ki-Adi-Mundi's going to die?
I don't think Ki-Adi-Mundi's going to die. So all you Ki-Adi-Mundi fans out there, you're safe.
Dude, how sick would that be if everyone's mad they're breaking canon about things that aren't breaking canon, but then Ki-Adi-Mundi dies in this show?
They just, like, sever canon.
Yeah, they just slice his head in half.
Just cut the top of his head off.
Yeah. He still has, like, a couple brains in there.
Yeah, does he?
I think he has, like, 4 brains.
Ugh.
That's why his head's like that.
And not one of them works.
Yes.
What about the droids said on the Wookiees?
You don't like Wookiees?
I love Wookiees, but I don't like Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Wookiee racist.
I don't like Ki-Adi-Mundi.
I know you don't.
What are you talking about?
I'm not a fan.
I'm
Well,
not-
you're
I'm not
making
a-
fun of him for
I'm not a
protecting
Wookiee.
Wookiees, dude?
I'm not a Wookiee racist.
You're making fun of him for protecting Wookiees.
I'll use the Johnny Cochran Chewbacca defense. Planet full of Ewoks. 8 foot tall Wookiee. Planet full of Ewoks.
This does not make sense.
8 foot tall Wookiee. Planet full of Ewoks. Ugh.
He doesn't live on Endor, though.
I know. Ugh.
Johnny Cochran, not a Star Wars fan.
No, he wasn't.
At least South Park version
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah. Made me laugh though.
Yeah.
You know who the master really is? I think
Palpatine.
this is where Star Wars brings tech back from the Bad Batch.
There we go.
That's-
Ooh, that's good.
That's what happens.
That's good. That's the only way I would accept them bringing tech back.
Yeah. A lot of people predicted tech was coming back in the final season of the Bad Batch. You're wrong.
Yeah, he's coming back here.
Comes back in the Acolyte, which is set 120 years.
Ezra Bridger in that, like, time force thing.
Oh,
he goes and saves tech,
the world,
and throws him back into the Acolyte time.
What's it called? The place between worlds, or the
place between worlds,
something like that. Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. Much like he saved Ahsoka, he pulls Tech out of there,
so it doesn't break canon.
Yeah, Tech fell into the fog. Boom! Ezra catches him, brings him through, sends him into the past, and Tech just becomes a badass Sith Lord.
Yeah, and he saves Saul, so that he can.
And Saul goes to the future.
Yeah,
we'll see Saul in season 2 of Ahsoka.
No, in the Rey movie.
Oh, in the Rey movie. Okay, he helps Rey.
10.
He helps Rey reestablish. The Jedi Order.
Yeah,
boom.
I like that.
I like what we're doing here with Star Wars canon.
Also, she saves Jecki and sends her to, Mexico, and she turns into Logan's daughter.
Oh, turns into Wolverine's daughter.
X-23.
Yeah, that'd be tough because she's got multiple holes in her.
But he goes back before that happened and saves her right then, like Ahsoka. Because Ahsoka was probably dead or something, but then she didn't.
No, she wasn't. She
know.
wasn't.
If he hadn't saved her, she would have.
Because he pulled her from that exact moment in time.
Maybe it's
Jetty's dead.
Multiverse. Star Wars multiverse.
Jetty's dead.
I wanted this video to be 30 minutes, and I said Star Wars multiverse, and I think that's a good place to end.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's just a bad idea.
We're getting crazy now with our predictions. Yeah. Obviously, these are dumb, fun, not real predictions.
Yeah. Except for the tech thing.
One real prediction, real quick, made it quick, for you.
Oh, for me. The twins are going to turn bad and be bad together.
I don't think they're going to turn bad together. I think they flippity flop, and Osha becomes the evil one.
Well, they flippity flop, but then they come together at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
What was your prediction?
My prediction is just they flippity flop. They don't come together.
Yeah.
And Osha just becomes evil, and she's the one that kills Soul. Boom. Done.
All right. Well, it's been great having you. It's been great talking to you, the 8 people who watched this video.
Until next time, my friends.
Until next time. There's a way to turn this off.
Leave this in.